So welcome to Management Information Systems, or BUA 234. I appreciate you listening to that first part, so let's get into the real details now that you know how to read a syllabus for our course. So every class I start, I always take that course outline description that's on the RCBC website. It's really long, it's dry, I didn't draft it. But I want you to know that I take every class and I say, well, what is my simple purpose? All right? So my simple purpose for this class is that to ensure that you have a foundation of knowledge to draw upon when and where MIS presents itself. Because I took this class too over 20 years ago, and I wasn't an MIS professional, but later in both my accounting and my marketing career, MIS did present itself, and I was able to use the skills I gained in my undergraduate degree to drive organizational and personal success. And we'll probably talk about some of those stories through the discussion boards this semester. So let's dig in a bit more into the weights for your specific class. All right, so here they are.
The first thing I want you to notice is the asterisks. My weights change every semester based off the feedback from my students, and my DLCs are no different. The second thing I'd like you to notice is that the weights are really spread out. This is not a class where you fail an exam and suddenly you can't pass or you can't get the grade you want. So know that I do that intentionally, that the weights are spread. If you miss something, hey, it's not that big of a deal. You'll catch it up somewhere else. One of the new features of this course this semester is a proficiency exam that your peers in the spring helped me pilot. This means that your final exam for this class is 100% Excel. It is pass-fail. You can take it as many times as you want, but you will leave this course not only with proficiency in Excel, but with a credential badge.
So let's go into detail on each one of those weights. Exams. I don't believe there should be a time limit on exams. So if any of you have an accommodation, not to worry here. It's going to be no time limit, and you'll have re-entry access, because I know you're all doing your work on your own time. You want to stop, start, not have it glitch. So that's the way I set up my exams. So please take them at your own pace. Now remember, they do have deadlines, so your own pace has to be on your own time. It is open note, it is open ebook, all right? The book is very dense. I expect that you'll be taking some type of notes over the semester, so that's fully open. But it is one attempt, all right? So you get one shot, but you have those opportunities. Now my lab, we have two sections for this. The first is quizzes, video cases, and what Pearson calls DSM. And if you've ever taken a McGraw-Hill course, DSM is similar to what they call Smart Book. It's basically reading with a comprehension assessment, so it really ensures that you are reading, you're not just skimming the chapter, and you're able to answer basic questions about the content. So that's going to be on a weekly basis. Then there's video cases. And when I chose Pearson, and I've actually gotten the opportunity to rebuild this course, I really like the videos because if this was an in-person class, it's what I would bring into the class. These videos are not, and I specifically removed the ones with really awful actors trying to teach you management information systems. The ones I've left in the course are actually videos from CNBC, current events. Now what I'd also say is if you get to a video case and you say, oh my God, this is so old, please email me, and then I will push back on Pearson because they are supposed to be updating this regularly, and if one got by me in the prep, please let me know because we want this to be as current as possible. And when you're teaching MIS, it needs to be very current. And the last we have quizzes. So these are weekly, they're worth less than exams. You know, it's just a basic part of taking any class.
So if you remember from the first video, my dissertation and real reason I got into teaching was improving employability. And this next section gets exact to that. You're going to be exposed to two tools this semester, both Microsoft Access and Microsoft Excel. And lucky for you, there's no DSM, there's no required reading in this. It'll all be on you. So you'll have access to a book through SimNet and Pearson MyLab, but you're going to have to do that in order to be able to complete the exercises.
Now, I say that one's more important than the other. Access is really not used in business, and I was somewhat critical that this continues to be taught, even though it was taught to me 20 years ago. What I later understood is that Access is a great sandbox for college students. It's a database system, and it works like the huge database systems that I was exposed to in my career. So for the purposes of just having you understand what a database is and how to link files, Access actually is a pretty good teaching tool. So we're going to touch on that. Then we're going to move into Excel. And Excel 100% is a skill you must have in business. Now, some of you may have taken a small course on Excel. You may already be an Excel expert. I'm going to try to get every student in this course up to a basic level of skill sets that you'll need whether you go to Rowan University or another 4 university.
So how we're going to do this is something I'm really excited about. It's taken me about 2 years to bring this from an initial pilot to reality. So this semester, you will be taking a final proficiency exam. That is a pass-fail. You can take it as many times as you want. And that means once you pass, you'll get full credit for it and it'll jump your grade nicely. This is modeled on something that both the University of Richmond has done and a number of other universities, and I partnered with the University of Alabama to put this together for you. So all the skills that are in that final exam are the ones that I, and then through interviews with hiring managers, expect a business student with a bachelor's degree to have. So to get you ready for that, all of the assignments that lead up to that are helping you build the skills through various assessments. So not only will you get credit for the course for doing those assessments to prepare you for the final exam, but you will earn that first badge you see on the screen for essential skills. This badge will be presented to you by McGraw-Hill. You'll be able to attach it to your LinkedIn and you can cite it on your own resume. Now, I want to go a step further, and there are 2 extra credit opportunities. So if you want to go above and beyond the skill sets that I have assessed that you need for this course, and you complete those chapters, you'll get 2% back on your entire grade. And for the few who really want to go to the next step, I also have a 5% extra credit opportunity if you can earn the Applied Expert Skills badge. And you can certainly reach out to me with more information on that. One final point I'll make on Excel is that rather than making you wait until week 12 to unlock it, it is unlocked on week 1, and I'm going to have a pre-test I'd like you to take so we can kind of assess where your skill sets are. It's easy points that'll go into your discussion grade. And then you have the entire semester at your pace to get through these. Now, once we hit, I believe, week 12, they will become required, but I highly recommend that you get ahead of this and start working on them.
What I assign is where I'm drawing the skill sets that I'm expecting to see on this final exam project. All right, so please plan accordingly, because in this area there's no DSM, so you really need to take the initiative to take these skills and understand them throughout the semester. All right, there are papers in this course. So yes, you'll be writing 2 papers, and yes, you will use AI. In fact, it's required. So I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. More details to come later in the semester, but I think that it'll give you a very more advanced and academic perspective on what AI can do to help you with your business writing. And lastly, course discussions. You chose a DLC course, so you knew there was going to be course discussions. And believe me, I know, these are a pain. They were exactly the same when I took online courses this past couple of years, so know that I'm doing my best to make them as entertaining as possible. But I will ask you, please be a human in these discussion boards. This is not a place to just throw the prompt into AI and ask for a response, because I know it 100% can do that. I need you to be a human in these, because honestly, if we were in a class, you wouldn't respond like AI does to your peer next to you. So please stay a human, because I will be reading these, and I'm even using AI to make sure that you're meeting the requirements. So what are the requirements? If you go to our Blackboard site, you'll see something about 6 points, kind of like going to the DMV in New Jersey. So the first area is that your first response to the prompt is due by 3 a.m. on Thursdays every week. Included in this prompt, you must make sure that the content actually relates to the prompt. You will include a URL link to where you were referring to things, and you're going to put in a screenshot. All right, this helps your peers who are then reading your posts to A, click the link if they're interested in what you talked about, and then B, if they're a more visual learner, they actually have something to respond to rather than it just being all text. All right, I found this works a lot better and we get a lot more engagement. So then by 3 a.m. Monday, you have to reply to 2 of your peers in an engaging way. So I want to give you an example of what is not engaging. I really liked the way you connected your response to Professor S to the learning material. Nice job. I look forward to reading more this semester. No one would ever say that in a class. Please don't do that, all right? I know what it looks like. Please respond legitimately to your peers. Now, I'm only asking for 2. You all can talk as much as you want, but you got to get at least 2 in there. So I have some bots in this system that will allow me to know who hit their 6 points. So if you don't hit your 6 points, you automatically get a 0. Sorry, that's just how these are going to work. All right, deadline late policy reminder. Now we talked earlier, everything in my classes is 3 a.m. So I know that's going to take a little bit while for you to understand, but it's time to adapt. You chose a DLC, and unlike my live classes, my late policy is that I do not accept late work, okay? You have the course all laid out for you, everything is opened up, so when the deadline passes, there's no debate. That's the deadline. So just know that I weight the course broadly so that if you do miss something or you do miss one of those 3 a.m. deadlines, it's not going to be terribly detrimental. Just don't let it happen again. All right, so I'm betting at least one of you in the audience is thinking, all right, he told us who he was, he went over the course a little bit, but why the heck is an accountant or marketer teaching us management information systems? So I'm definitely going to answer that for you. Firstly, let's be honest. Any DLC course, the professor is more of a facilitator of their personal derived strategy than an expert in the content. And you can look at LinkedIn. I am not an expert in management information systems, but I have used them and they did impact my career. I personally volunteered to rebuild this course for you because I know you're going to need these skills, and I knew RCBC needed a course to meet that goal. So that's what we're doing here. Lastly, Excel is part of MIS. It is a management information system, and I am an Excel geek. All right, so if you put in the effort, you're going to leave this course with the skills expected of a business student, and that's what you're trying to get out of an MIS class. So that's why I'm the one teaching you this. It is a DLC course. So I do look forward to seeing you in the discussion boards. Hopefully get to meet some of you in person over in my office. Otherwise, I'll see some of you in Zoom. But let's have a good semester, and please, we're going to use AI, but for the most part, try to be a human in the course.